Welcome to Business Success Tips, where you learn to make more money in less time and hopefully have a lot more fun. I'm your host, Paul Sanneman. I'm founder of Contractor Staffing Source. We help contractors build great teams. My guest today is Owen Chambers. And Gareth, I'm going to say it. Come on, what's your last name, Gareth?
I don't know. Gareth, I don't know. We got there.
We got it. Very good. Donald, we're good. Okay. So you guys are with a professional builder. What makes you differ from any other coaching companies? I mean, there's a lot of them out there. Why should people pick you for coaching?
Good question, because you're right. There are a lot out there. And also, Paul, fantastic to be on the line today. Thanks for having us. So when you get into and start working with a coach, it's really important that you have a community around you, not just the coach, because hearing it from one person is good, but hearing it from peers who are going through it together, and then also heroes or people ahead of you is really important. Right. So number one, that makes us different is we get you into performance communities, people who are ahead of you on the same journey. Secondly, we look at your numbers. So it's not just what feels right on gut instinct, but is it what actually is reflected in the financials and in the numbers of the business? How many leads are you getting? What's your sales conversion rate? What's your work in progress? What's your margin, your net margin, your overhead ratio, your liquidity ratios, your cash buffer, all this sort of stuff. It paints the picture of business, and it's ultimately the language of business, and it informs the decisions. Thirdly, we've got all the plug and play resources. So we've been around since 2004. In that time, we've seen thousands of the things that don't work and a couple of the core things that actually do work for custom residential specifically. So all of our playbooks are built for custom residential builders, and they're ready to go, plug and play basically. So know your numbers, get into a community of high performers, and get the playbook so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. I think these are the three core areas. I have a
question.
Please.
How do you help people make the transition between, I'm going to call craftsman and entrepreneur? I mean, most of these guys start out building houses. I remember I asked one guy, I said, well, what's your cash in accrual? And they go, what's cash in accrual? And I go, this is going to be tough, right? So it's like, so how do you help the guys make that transition so they understand they're an entrepreneur and building a team and not a guy swinging a hammer?
Mm-hmm. Well, half of it's mindset shift, right? It's to understand that they need to go from being a great builder to being a great business owner. And that requires an acquiring of skills that they weren't taught when they're on the tools. So how to sell, how to hire, how to fire, how to understand a P&L, a balance sheet, a cash flow forecast. And if you're motivated enough to learn these skills and to shift your identity from being I'm a builder to I'm a business owner, then that's like step one. If you're not keen or interested in learning those skills or shifting that mindset, then there's nothing wrong with remaining a builder, but it's going to be really damn hard to build a business. And You just need to accept that and understand what the potential ceiling might be, or you might need to bring somebody else in to be your partner and to take care of that side of stuff. We talk about what's called your business maturity date, your BMD in your company, and your BMD is essentially your 3 to 5 year target for the company. Like, where do you want it to be 3 to 5 years from now in terms of the role that you play, the profit you draw, the projects that you do, the time off you take, right? And when we can explain and describe the future with the clarity of the present, we have a really clear vision of the business that we're building. When we can't describe the future with the clarity of the present, we have just this vague dream of what might happen. But once we have a BMD set, a business maturity date, very clear vision, we can work out who and how. Who needs to be brought in, what and how, what processes must we install to get to that destination. And to be clear, if your dream destination is to be on the tools, swinging a hammer, then that's fine, right? If your dream destination is to be reconciling invoices and talking to clients on a Sunday evening, that's cool as well.
Right.
But I can't imagine it's for everybody. So for starters, we're just going to get really clear on the vision of what business you're building, and then work backwards from there in terms of requirements to margin, profitability, time off, who, how.
Now, my biggest problem as a business coach was knowing what to do was easy. Getting people to do it. I mean, like, how do you get in shape? You eat right and you exercise. America's fat. Why? Because they don't do it. It's not because they don't know the answer. So how do you get people to actually do? Because I'm sure you've got all the systems and it all works and that kind of, no problem. But how do you get it implemented?
Yep. So we have an internal equation: relationships times by results times by runway, right? If and anything times by 0 is 0. So our coaches and our community and a lot of our content and trainings, it's designed to help you get a result really quickly. So yes, it should be table stakes that coaches have this stuff, but ultimately it's 2026 as well, right? It's about compressing the time to a result as quickly as possible, optimizing and using the AI agents, the AI tools to make sure that instead of it going, here's a template, to it's pretty much done. Answer these 7 questions and here it is. So first of all, we want to reduce the friction as much as possible. Secondly, it's relationships. No man's an island, and particularly in construction, people can often have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder or be not open to collaboration, I would say.
They don't want to tell somebody their secret sauce because they're going to steal it. I get
Exactly. So that's why it's really important to build relationships, not just with your coach, but with your wider community. And again, I already mentioned the peer thing, but anytime somebody joins the community, they're put into a performance squad. And in that performance squad, it should be ideally a collection of non-competing businesses of a similar size. If you want to be with some competing businesses, and that's cool, we'll find some for you. But ultimately, it's non-competing businesses of a similar size tackling a similar problem. So hiring a superintendent, scaling their marketing, growing their team size, improving their cash flow, whatever it might be, right? And in that squad, there should be a peer, somebody to go to battle with, like you start at the same time, and you're kind of a little bit competitive because that brings out the best in us all. Then there's a mentor, the coach, who can kind of spotlight the opportunities and direct you in the right direction. And then there's a hero, right? Somebody to aspire to be like, because that's the third part of the equation, runway. We want to continue to expand your runway or expand your vision of what is possible in your business, whether you're structuring a buy-in for a key member of staff about to retire and wanting to structure the business for sale, whether you're wanting to just get off the tools, get out of administration work, get out of bids and tenders, get whatever it might look like. We want to stretch your vision, and that's by finding these heroes for everybody, but also by spotlighting and telling the stories of our members when it comes to the awards that they've won, the challenges that they've faced, the journeys that they've been through, because we've got such a rich community of really talented owners and operators with some really cool stuff. They've been on TV, they've won awards, they've kind of been there, done that across the entire community.
And so do you have like weekly meeting? How does a peer group system work?
Yeah.
I can grab that if you want to.
Go on.
So one of the things we figured out a couple of years back was that one-to-one coaching model was dated. And so we've structured a terraced approach. So we have a specialty coach. This is a person that's been in the industry for say 25, 30 years. They can answer the tough questions around contracts, contract designs, disputes. At the next level, we have what we call a performance coach. And so the performance coach is the tactician. I don't know if you can see the book, but we have the Profitable Bulls Playbook. That's the Bible. So we have 6 tenets that the performance coach will focus on, working through a 13-month program with the builder to make sure that they can implement all the systems. And over, I think, a 21-year period, you whittled it from 400 systems down to the key 82. Yeah,
well, I mean, like even just last week, me and Cole were compressing one of the last trainings down from what used to be like 7 steps down to like 2 AI agents, sort of thing. So we're just trying to whittle it down to be as clear and focused as possible.
I have drugged contractors through technology for 50 years. Literally, I started with pagers, and then I went to cell phones. And I remember contractors say, I don't want to use a cell phone because it disturbs my peace of mind in the truck. I'm like, yeah, right. And then I fought them through websites. I fought them through, then about everything was, using web-based project management. And now it's AI. Like it's just dragging these guys through, because as a group, they're not, can I say technical Luddites? I don't want to be nice, but it's just like, no.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Not their thing, right?
I mean, Coach G is probably about to talk about the third level of the coaching, which is the accountability piece, right? So, each week they get accountability, and that's where the accountability coach is in touch with them. Mm-hmm. And honestly, just like the builder is the builder and not the bank, right? They're there to build the thing, not to finance it, not accept good cash, not taking deposits and things like that is a big no-no. It's the same for us. Like, we're your coach. We're not here to put in and more investment than you into your business. Like, dude, that's a you problem, not an us problem. Right. We're here to spotlight the opportunity, to guide you through the journey, to update your business plan on a monthly basis based on your numbers, to spotlight and say, it's not good enough that your cash flow is here. It's not good enough that your debtors are there. It's not good enough that your work in progress is ballooning out. We can see this data. We have feed with your accounts, and we'll set them up if they're an absolute mess. Trust me, we've seen it, right? But if you're serious about being a professional builder in 2026, then it's kind of table stakes. And if you're not, again, that's fine. We're just not for you. Right.
Well, now what I see happening in it with AI, which is interesting, what I see happening in AI is disrupting a lot of industries where private equity used to go, like, you know, like there's hundreds of millions of dollars with no place to go, right? And so they go, well, let's own construction companies, yay, right? So all this money, tons of it is coming to the construction industry. I sort of have a joke, either private equity is going to buy you or put you out of business. How do you see that affecting things? Because at least to me, it's like if you look at advertising, the price of advertising is going through the roof because AI just sort of, private equity is sort of a bunch of money at it. What people are getting as far as EBITDA, they're getting 10 times EBITDA, which is insane, right? There's just all this cash with no place to go. Do you see that happening at all, or is it just me?
No, I do, but I do also think that like there's cycles in the market, and whether you want to be bought by private equity or whether you want to survive the next recession, like right. You need to be operating in none of us are here to operate in the bottom third of the market, right?
Right.
And if you are, next recession, next COVID, next material price rise, labor shortage, weather bomb, like you name it, like just expensive mistake on site without right. correctly charging and missing change orders, like you're out, dude. Right. The middle third, that's a slow and painful death by 1,000 paper cuts. And the top third, well, happy days. To your point, it's private equity or it's absolutely capitalizing on AI. But to do that, you do need to have a couple of key things. So one of the things that I see being really important in the age of AI is almost counter to the whole marketing thing. And it's like marketing for talent, marketing for people. Because as much as AI compresses a lot of the time to done for marketing and other things, not on site yet, not in the fields, right? Like if we can be a employer of choice, a talent magnet for some of the best and most talented people out in the fields, you will win. So one of the core strategies that we work with a lot of our members on is an employer of choice funnel. Basically, like not just how do we market and position ourselves for great projects, but how do we do that for great people, right? And then those people, we can debate till the cows come home whether they will get killed and eaten by AI. But I believe that ones out in the field won't in the next 5 years, sort of thing. So, I know that doesn't answer your question of what does private equity play in this, but I think
it does a little bit because what I think, Owen, I agree. The most important skill that as an entrepreneur has is the ability to build a team. And if you look at people like Elon Musk, he's a smart guy, but he's a genius at building teams, right? He's really good at that. Mm-hmm. And so if you can learn how to build a great team, combine that with AI and some other stuff, you can just kill it. But you've got to understand that your ability to build a house sort of doesn't matter. I mean, it's okay, but it doesn't really count.
No, just like for us as coaches, it's table stakes that we have all the systems and processes for you. As a builder, building custom homes, it's table stakes that you can deliver a project to quality standard and timeline and probably budget, and then that's where the secret sauce comes on top of all of it, which is that unreasonable hospitality around it, that ability to protect or maximize your margin or minimize your downside, right? Like in our game, it's much less about hitting home runs and maximizing upside as it is about minimizing downside and making sure that you don't go backwards on any project.
And how do you see the big guys, national builders playing this game? Because they got billions and they're trying to get in there, and I know they kill markets sometimes. So how do you get the small builder to compete with the national guys who are building for $250 a foot because they hold everybody ransom for lack of a better term?
You don't. Like, it's not possible, right? Like, it'd be like, the analogy of taking a knife to a gunfight doesn't even measure up.
You're going to lose, right?
100%. And this is where we have the there's a couple of concepts that we've spoken about today, from business maturity date to the builder's ladder, with that identity shift from builder to business owner to investor, right? And then another one that we talk about is the authority pyramid. So at the bottom of the authority pyramid is the jack of all trades, the master of none. No job's too small. Don't worry, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Right.
I reckon we could get it done for whatever a square.
Right.
Then you've got the specialist. And most people 5-10 years ago would say, I'm a specialist in X. And that was kind of good enough, right? I specialize in remodels or knockdown rebuilds or whatever it might be. You know, today, that's not good enough. You need to be a rung above, and you need to be the trusted advisor in your community and in your market. And that's where we can talk about marketing and sales and positioning and all that sort of stuff. But ultimately, by the end of the sales process, when the person is looking at the contract and about to sign on the line, you need to be positioned or perceived as the celebrity in the community, as the celebrity builder. And we have a whole method to get you there, but ultimately, how do you compete against the big boys?
So you're not actually competing against Lennar, because you're just competing on price.
Yeah,
right?
It's not possible.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
And G knows there are 5 main areas and 4 primary questions that you must ultimately compete on, which is, who are you, who's your team, how can I trust you, and how can you help me specifically? I've got concerns around budget, timeline, trustworthiness, quality, and communication. You know, so yeah.
Well, now this guy's now question: how do you find out if somebody's listening to this podcast is interested in your services? How do they find out if it's a chemistry there, if they should work with you versus other companies?
Well, the easiest thing to do is to check it out. It's free to have a call with the team and to do what's called a game plan. And in the game plan, we work out 3 key things. So where you're at today and where you want to be 12 to 18 months from now. Second thing is we then work out a step-by-step plan to help you get there with the right tools and systems so that you're working on the right stuff in the right order. And the third thing is genuine, can this work? Like, we look at your numbers, we review your financials from the last 12 months in confidence, obviously. We work out how much extra time you can expect to buy back and how much extra profit you can expect to make by implementing and installing these systems. And then at that point, if it makes sense for both of us, it looks like we're a good fit and we can work together, then cool. We'll choose the right program for you and get you underway.
Owen, or Gareth, how should I choose a coaching company? I mean, it's like, how should I choose a wife or husband? Same kind of thing, right? So there's a bunch out there. Go to AI and say, here's, give me the 5 best coaching companies in my industry, and I'll come up with blah, blah, blah. But when you're on the phone and you're having that communication, how do you tell if in my opinion, it's chemistry, if that chemistry is there or not? You go, G.
Yeah, so first thing, the chemistry piece is interesting because I think that can be developed. So, and we're pretty proficient at bringing people through and getting them going. I think before that, you asked the question, how do we know that you're right for us? Or I can tell you. So the ICP, so our ideal customer profile, is if you're turning over something between $1 million and $5 million, that's a good starting point. The next thing after that is if you're feeling like you're stuck and you're on the hamster wheel, and you got a job with overheads and you want to find a different way to do it, we're probably a good fit for you. I think in terms of our structure and what we have to offer, I think what's unique about us is that terrace structure that I talked about earlier. And so if those things sound good to you, then it's definitely worth picking up a free call.
Good, cool, okay. Well, my suggestion, I always tell people, if you're not looking forward to your next coaching call, you should consider getting another coach.
Yeah, I think that's a good litmus test because that applies to your own team as well, right? Like if you've got a one-on-one.
Well, I would tell people if one of your employees calls you, look at the phone, oh my God, it's John, you should get rid of John. Bad energy, right?
Yeah. I think the counter, just to be clear, I do agree with you, but I do think that the counter to that is also that we're not here to be your friendtors, we're here to be your mentors. And there are aspects that we do need to hold you accountable to. And if you're not showing up or you're not excited about jumping on the call because you know that you haven't done the work that is required, then again, like, that's cool. We might not be the right coach for you. but you need to do.
I assume when you're done with it, you feel better after the call than before the call, right? If I hold somebody accountable, they go, wow, I'm glad you helped me because nobody else did. And I realized I got to call my architects or whatever the number was. I got to do that. Then in that call, there's an energy that happens that they feel supported and loved and cared for. And it's like, wow, I'm glad I made this, right? You get that feeling like it was a good use of time.
Exactly. And it's why we've got that equation, right? Results, relationships, and runway. Anything times by 0 is 0, right? So if you're getting on there and it's great relationship, but you're not getting any results, dude, we can go have a beer another time. Like, you don't have to be paying for this, right? But additionally, if you're getting lots of results, but you're not lit up and you're not inspired, right, by what's possible, then, that's not super fun in the long term. Like, business should be an adventure that is exciting and fun, and it shouldn't be this just grind. So I think that's really important, looking at it through a couple of lenses like that.
Yeah, to the chemistry piece as well, I'll lift the hood a little bit on how we approach coaching. I've got a saying in the coaching team that goes like this: you coach the person, not the problem. And I think that kind of talks to that chemistry piece that you're talking about, Paul.
Right.
This coaching is a game of people. This is about seeing the humanity
of the other person. Yeah, if you don't have 100%. The right relationship, it's not going to work.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, guys, how do they get in touch with you? I'm excited what you do. Tell me how they reach you.
In the immediate term, we're looking forward to hosting our event in Austin and also being at the International Builders Show. In the more long term, you can email us, team@𝗵𝗂𝗏𝗿. You can find us on Instagram, The Professional Builder. You can visit our website, theprofessionalbuilder.com, and you can find all the free resources there. You can conduct a health audit to give yourself a score out of 100, see how you rate, see how you compare against other building companies. I myself am on Instagram, Owen from TPB. Slide into my DMs, happy to have a chat. That's genuinely me on there, not a PA or anything like that. Right. And my email is owen@theprofessionalbuilder.com, and you can talk to myself, and Coach G's is Coach G at theprofessionalbuilder.com.
Coach G, well, that's easy to figure out. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time. This has been incredibly informative, and I'll see you at IBS.
Let's go. Lovely to see you, Paul.